Well, hello there folks, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you again as usual, and I hope that I find you very well indeed, and thanks for popping over to check out this very easy recipe. So a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea, and for tea I made this amazing Chinese takeaway inspired chicken and cashew nuts. It's really tasty, very easy to make. I use my slow cooker, but if you don't have a slow cooker, you can just do this on the stove top, just as easy. The sauce is beautifully savoury with a slight sweet edge, lovely tender chicken with a great contrast and texture from the crunchy cashews and veggies. So this is everything that I used here. So I've got some water chestnuts, I've got some ground ginger, of course the cashew nuts. I'm using some chives just at the end, but you don't have to use chives. I just used them because I had them. I've got some vinegar and some tomato ketchup. I've also got some brown sugar, some flour. This is just plain flour, a wee dash of salt and pepper. I've got some light soy sauce and also some oil for frying your chicken. I've got some chicken stock, and I've also got some raw chicken. I've used chicken fillets, but chicken breast works just as well. I will pop all of these ingredients and the weights in the show more box underneath. The first thing we're going to do is sear the chicken. Like I said, I am using chicken fillets, but you can use chicken breast, thigh meat, whatever you prefer. Just make sure it's in small bite-sized pieces. To this we're going to add the flour. So this is just plain or all-purpose flour, and then the salt and pepper on top of that. And you just want to go in with some tongs or a spoon and just make sure your chicken is well coated in that seasoned flour. You can even do this in a Ziploc bag if you have one. I didn't have any, so I am doing mine in the bowl. But it should look something like this. Just make sure it's nice and evenly coated. So get yourself over to the cooker. You want a medium to high heat, and then you want to pop your oil in. Like I said, I am using sesame oil, but use whatever oil you prefer. But sesame oil is going to give you that authentic sort of takeaway flavour. Pop your chicken in. You want to give this a couple of minutes on each side. You don't need to cook it all the way through because it's going into the slow cooker. It's just to give it a nice sort of colour, and it's going to lock in the flavour, keep it nice and juicy, protect your chicken as it's cooking, and also thicken up your gravy at the end. I done mine in 2 stages because my pan is quite small, and do add more oil, if you need to, because that flour that's coating your chicken will soak up your oil. But once you're happy, you just leave that to the side or pop it into a bowl just for a couple of minutes till we do the sauce. So in a jug, I have my chicken stock here, and to this I'm going to add the soy sauce and also the tomato ketchup, and just give it a wee stir around just to make sure it's nicely combined. To this I'm going to add the ground ginger. Another wee stir around. I will leave, all of these ingredients and things in the description box underneath the video. A couple of tablespoons of vinegar. I am using apple cider vinegar, but use whatever vinegar you prefer as well. And also some brown sugar. And again, just give it a good mix together. The last thing I'm going to add is a heaped teaspoon of minced garlic. This is completely optional. We love garlic, so I'm popping some garlic in as well. And look how glossy and thick that is. It's just wonderful. So the slow cooker I'm using is a 2.5 litre Crockpot because I got asked that so many times. So there you go. So pop your chicken into the bottom of the slow cooker and just cover it with that lovely sauce that we've just made. Now just go in with a spoon or some tongs or something just to make sure that your chicken is nicely coated in the sauce, and that's you done for the time being. So pop your lid on, cook this on high for 3 hours, and that'll be it basically done. The last thing we're going to do is add in the water chestnuts and the cashews just for about 10 minutes at the end. But if you want to use fresh raw vegetables like these, you'll have to cut them up quite small and put them in at the 2-hour mark so that they're nicely cooked through. These are just a few things I'm using as we wait. So my plain flour, the water chestnuts, this is the soy sauce that I used, the tomato ketchup that I used, this was the stock as well, and also the ground ginger, and the cashew nuts I think were from Aldi, and then that sesame oil that I had in the cupboard anyway. And then I used apple cider vinegar, but like I said, use rice wine vinegar or white wine vinegar or even just normal vinegar. So this was me 3 hours later. and it was absolutely, the kitchen smells like a Chinese takeaway. It was insane. And look how beautiful and thick and rich this chicken is. And let me tell you, the texture of this was beautiful. So I'm just going to pop in my water chestnuts and also my cashew nuts just to warm through. Obviously you don't need to cook these. So I'm just going to stir my cashews through. I've sliced my water chestnuts through the middle just to make them a bit smaller and stirred those through as well. And I'm just going to pop the lid back on for 10 minutes just to let everything warm through properly. Like I said, obviously you don't need to cook the cashews or the water chestnuts, but if you are using fresh veggies, pop those in about the 2 hour mark. And all you have to do now is serve. So we're having this with some white rice, and that's the chicken cashew on the side, and I added some finely chopped chives just over the top just to serve. Mr. What's for Tea is not the biggest fan of rice. He can eat it, but I just prefer pasta or mashed potato. So I also done some mashed potato, which, you know, it goes wonderfully with mashed potato as well, believe it or not, and also some cooked broccoli on the side. And doesn't it look wonderful? And let me tell you, this tasted absolutely divine. And then some more of those chives just on the top. Highly recommend you give that one a go, you know, if you're a fan of this kind of flavour combination. Just beautiful. Just before I leave you, I wanted to say, as usual, a massive thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and to the channel members here on YouTube as well. And I have updated those lists, but I think there are a few more, so don't worry if your name is not there. I do update these maybe twice every couple of months. So yeah, if your name is not there, it will be very soon probably. But thank you all for watching and leaving your lovely comments, and for those who share the videos. And if you're not following me over on Instagram yet, I'm What's for Tea 3 over there, because obviously I post pictures and videos and things that don't make it over here to YouTube. So it would be lovely to see you, and do let me know if you're planning on giving that one a go, and I will catch up with you during the week for my week shopping haul, and back on Sunday for meals of the week. So whenever I see you again, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you off as soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.